The Elements of Non-Euclidean Geometry by D.M.Y. Sommerville.
Chapter 1, Historical. Section 2, Euclid's Elements. The structure of Euclid's elements should be familiar to every student of geometry, but owing to the multitude of text and school editions, especially in recent years, when Euclid's order of the propositions has been freely departed from, Euclid's actual scheme is apt to be forgotten. We must turn to the standard text of Heiberg in Greek and Latin, or its English equivalent by Sir Thomas Heath. Book 1, which is the only one that immediately concerns us, opens with a list of definitions of the geometrical figures, followed by a number of postulates and common notions, called also by other geometers axioms. Objection may be taken to many of the definitions, as they appeal simply to intuition. The definition of a straight line as a line which lies evenly with the points on itself contains no statement from which we can deduce any propositions. We now recognize that we must start with some terms totally undefined and rely upon postulates to assign a more definite character to the objects. A right angle and a square are defined before it has been shown that the objects corresponding to the definitions can exist. An axiom or common notion was considered by Euclid as a proposition which is so self-evident that it needs no demonstration. A postulate as a proposition which, though it may not be self-evident, cannot be proved by any simpler proposition. This distinction was even frequently misunderstood to such an extent that later editors of Euclid have placed some of the postulates erroneously among the axioms. A notable instance is the parallel postulate, number 5, which has figured for ages as axiom 11 or 12. The common notions of Euclid are 5 in number and deal exclusively with equalities and inequalities of magnitudes. The postulates are also 5 in number and are exclusively geometrical. The first 3 refer to the construction of straight lines and circles, the fourth asserts the equality of all right angles, and the fifth is the famous parallel postulate. If a straight line falling on 2 straight lines make the interior angles on the same side less than 2 right angles, the 2 straight lines, if produced indefinitely, meet on that side on which are the angles less than 2 right angles.
The Elements of Non-Euclidean Geometry. This book was written by D.M.Y. Sommerville, M.A. and Doctor of Science. It was published by the Open Court Publishing Company, London, G. Bell & Sons, Ltd. in 1919, and now is in the public domain. It is being read by Jim Renholt, with programming and illustrations by Jim Renholt in 2019. Thank you for listening.